Hello, dear friend, and welcome. Since we are here to talk about picturing, visualizing, imaging, can you imagine playing chess against your fifth grade school teacher? And neither of you understood the rules for how the chess pieces must be played? That's where America's K-12 public education is today. And no progress since 1956, when mandatory testing became part of K-12 public education. So, for review, the 6 chess pieces for creating are slightly different in order for memorizing. So for creating, the king of vision, the queen of current reality, matter, mater, mother, which together naturally give birth to the bishop of structural tension, shown by a dynamic rubber band, not a gap, which then lead to always have a place to go. The knight, the unique ability to always have a place to go. That must then be followed up by the rook of taking action, of attacking, which then gives proof to the pawn of proof. That which we visualize, that which we imagine, that which we pictured, is that in current reality, greater or less than? So for memorizing, the pieces are a little bit different. Because we have such a momentum on rote memory, we have to right away say the single most important puzzle piece is, where is that little rascal? The knight of always have a place to go. As an example for names, when we meet somebody, our focus should be on that person. Always have a place to go. What are we noticing in current reality? Where is that rascal? I'm sorry, the queen of current reality. What are we noticing on that person? What jumps out to us? Harry Lorraine speaks about that. When we first see somebody, meet somebody, something stands out if we're observing. But most of us are looking down and in, concerned about ourselves, thinking about rote memory. And so we don't have that always have a place to go on that person, which is that current reality. We're looking at that person. With that, we then have the bishop of that structural tension now. We're beginning to work with that structural tension. We have a dynamic that we have initiated. Then, the king of vision. We have to take that person's name, which is two-dimensional, and we have to give it that additional vision to make a vision, something that we can hang on to. In memorizing, it's called an animated vision, something like a character, like a cartoon character. We have to give it that animated vision. Along with that, we then have to have some kind of action in there. The rook of action must be part of that equation. Then we proof. That which we want to memorize, are we able to remember? That's the setup that I'll share with you for my name. So if you've seen these presentations or ever talked to me, I'm always what? Russell is always, remember, it's my name, so it's my responsibility to share with you how to memorize my name. Since we are not taught or trained or don't have the momentum on memorizing, I will share with you how to remember my name. I will take that responsibility. So if you think of Russell and what should jump out at you about Russell, I'm always wrestling with rote memory monster and problem solving monster. I'm trying to get my hands around and wrestle to the ground, rote memory monster. I'm trying to get my hands around and wrestle to the ground, problem solving monster. Russell, wrestling. How would I remember your name? What matrix, memory matrix, can you create so that I and others will remember your name. So within the example, one example of Helena is the capital of Montana, or I may have tricked you a little bit, the way the question is asked on a test, what is the capital of Montana? It's not asked the other way. Helena is the capital of which state? We are asked in 5th grade on that test, what is the capital, the state capital of Montana? So if we look at that, always have a place to go. In that is Montana. We have to direct our attention, always have a place to go to that word, Montana. Now, I as a student, I've never been to Montana. I don't know anybody living in Montana. First time I've ever heard of Montana. So don't reference Montana. Oh, don't forget, in Montana, they have mountains there. So let's start there. No. The place we start is that word Montana. Within that Montana, what can we make as a three-dimensional for that, let's see, the queen of current reality? We have to look carefully. Current reality, matter, mother. What can we see in that word? Montana. For me, and again, I'm bringing in my concept, would be mom tanning. I see mom tanning. So when I hear, what is the capital of Montana? Mom tanning is going to be my current reality within that word. I'm beginning to bring that structural tension in, that dynamic rubber band, as I now say for Helena, I see mom tanning in hell, which gives me Helena, and that is my animated action, the rook of action, taking action, animated action. I see my mom baking, frying, sizzling, burning in Montana, in Helena. Mom tanning in Helena. Now, as I was considering this, I thought, well, I researched Montana and I researched Helena. And in school, we're not giving a real three-dimensional understanding about a state and the capital. So there's not a lot of weight in how the people in Montana came up with Helena. But during that time, the gold rush in Montana, and I think they said during, what was it, the 19th century, like $3.5 billion in gold. And that's why the unique architecture in Helena, that's what gave birth to that unique architecture. That I can't quite think it's the architecture, but so you could say, okay, let's go back. Montana, and it could be Montana man mining, Montana mining. You can see that gold rush, and of course, what do we get when we get a lot of gold? Well, Montana, we go to hell because we miss. So I'm trying to think, is there another way? How would you work with always have a place to go? Montana, man, mom. That's where we begin. So if we jump over to Sacramento and all those other state capitals you don't know, or better yet said, you cannot recall, you cannot remember. If we go to this book where I've marked Montana, he has a picture of a man laying on the beach, laying on a blanket. So we're getting close to mine, tanning. But they start with, oh, I bet that hurts. There is a heel in a man tanning. So again, instead of having always have a place to go, starting with the word Montana, he's 180 degrees off by leapfrogging to heel for Helena in a man tanning. So the thread is broken. The thread is broken for the child who can't follow that thread, that concept of trying to picture. When the child hears Montana, they can't just jump to that picture of a heel in a man tanning. Helena. So right here he has first a heel in a Helena, man tanning, Montana. We're given the word Montana. that's always have a place to go is that word Montana. These authors have Montana after the word Helena, ass backwards. So once again, not only is there very little information about memorizing, 90% of all students, teachers, are unconscious incompetence. They don't know. Then take the percent that have been misinformed, misinformation about memorizing. That's why we must tread lightly. If it's that difficult for something so simple as Helena is the state capital of Montana, or vice versa, what is, on the test, it would be worded, what is the state capital of Montana? We must start there. Imagine all the other difficult things that we are told to memorize during our K-12 public education. This is one. We have 49 other states that during 5th grade we were required to memorize and remember. Where did we go? Instead of always have a place to go, the name of that state, always have a place to go. We were looking down and in, trying to find it. Not happy about unable to pull that out of somewhere. Attention's going inward, attention's going inward. Or did we actually ever do the write it again and again and again and again, say it again and again and again and again? Rote memory, complete waste of time and energy. Here, we have the 6 chess pieces. Always have a place to go must be identified. Then, current reality is part of that. We're looking very carefully. Again, a quote from Robert Fritz, current reality is an acquired taste. We then begin to work with that structural tension. We're now contemplating as we go to the king of vision. Montana. Mom-tanning. We then have that action, animated action. Well, see mom sizzling, turning all red. She's baking. I actually saw that in Wisconsin. Often my mother tanned in that way. So animated action, see mom burning and sizzling and tanning. 2, the point of proof. Russell, what is the capital of Montana? Or on the test, the capital of Montana is, question mark, mom tanning, picture that, in Helena. Not start with Helena and reverse backwards to Montana, which is already given to us on the test. I hope this is clear. If you find any other method for memorizing the capital of Montana is Helena, please email to me, russell@createk12change.org or russell@createwhatmatters.com, and let me know if you find misinformation, because I will be doing a little bit of research to see if I can find additional misinformation. And does anybody have this correct? Anybody have this correct? Again, one method for memorizing and creating. Thank you very much for participating. I hope these elements stick like glue, the 6 chess pieces for memorizing.